We've made it to the third part of our training, Managing Literature Circles. By now, you know what literature circles are, who they're for, when you should start them, and how to introduce them and get them started. In this video, I'm going to share a few ins and outs to help you manage the process of beginning and running literature circles. I get asked about book selection all the time. Teachers will email me asking for ideas of what books to use in literature circles. My number one recommendation every time is that you find out what kind of books your students are interested in. If you don't do a reading interest survey at the beginning of the year, I highly recommend that you start. This will be so helpful when you're shopping for book sets or in choosing different genres of books for your literature circle groups. I have a free reading interest survey that you can grab in the notes section of this video. If you're watching this training and your school year has already started, don't worry, it's never too late to give your students a reading interest survey. Teachers also ask me where I get my books, and honestly, most of the sets I have come from using my Scholastic book order points. You could also check with your school library, create an Amazon wish list if parents like to donate to your classroom, or talk with your principal about extra funds or grants. You might be surprised what kind of money is available for extra book sets. When you start your literature circles, you will definitely want your students to keep some sort of literature circle notebook. You can use a 2-pocket folder or even just have a packet stapled together. I use a 2-pocket folder and laminate them at the beginning of the year. There is a cover page on the front of the folder like you see here, and then on the inside pocket, students keep their student planning page. The right pocket holds all of their completed job sheets, and at the end of the book, students staple them all together and turn them in for a grade. You can choose to collect them at the end of each group meeting or collect the notebooks when the books are finished and give them a grade. An important student organizational tool to help literature circles run smoothly is this student planning page, the literature circle planning page. This stays in the front of students' literature circle notebooks. Each literature circle meeting, they finish the meeting with recording the next day's reading assignment along with their new job. You can post it up on the whiteboard for students to copy down, or if you use the Google Slide version of this page, you can pre-type the selections of text ahead of time for students. This planning page helps them when they go home and read to not forget what pages to read as well as what job to do next. There's also a note section, so if there's anything important you need to notate about upcoming reading, you can do that as well. How much reading you assign depends on the lengths of your books and the level of your students. I try to stick by the 20-minute rule, so any reading that is not done in class will carry over to homework. Since students have a job sheet to complete as well, I'm definitely factoring that in when I'm thinking about how much reading to assign. Now, I've shared with you some important tools to help make literature circles simple, from differentiated job sheets to job slides, job posters, all the various planning pages. But another tool that I love to give students while they're reading are these literature circle bookmarks. Each bookmark summarizes what students should be doing during their reading. Some teachers like to pass these out with each new job sheet, and others like to hole punch them and assemble them together with a brad so students can keep them inside of their folders. Either way, this is just another great tool to help support student success. When students are meeting in their literature circle groups, you definitely want to have a literature circle agenda posted. At the start of each meeting, I display the agenda on the board. This way, students know in what order they are sharing their jobs and about how long they have. Remember, the discussion director is the facilitator, so they always begin the group meeting and should help to keep the group on track. This is another editable Google slide that I have available, so you can also adjust your own times and the order of the jobs as well. If students finish sharing their jobs before our literature circle meeting time is up, I like to encourage more discussion. I use a discussion prompt tic-tac-toe board that I give to groups, or students can share their lit messages they noted during their reading time. I have a blog post all about lit messages, and I will link that in the video notes if you want to learn more about that fun strategy. All right, let's talk accountability. This is huge during literature circle times. You are giving students the autonomy to be in groups without you, and it's important they know the expectations. Every few literature circle meetings, I like to check in and give group members a rubric. Students fill in their group members' names and rank them 3, 2, 1 based on how well they've been participating. This is helpful for me to catch any issues that might be happening in the group that I'm not seeing as I roam the room. Job rotations. Remember this planning tool I showed you in video 2? this not only helps me in planning out the order of jobs for each group member, but it allows me to quickly tell them what jobs are up next. As group members are finishing their meetings, I will go over and tell them what their next job is, or it's already been pre-assigned on their digital student planning page. This way, they can grab a job sheet out of our job file crate, or if you want to be super organized, you can actually pre-assign and pre-order the job pages in each student notebook ahead of time. This way, they just look at the next page and see what their next job is. That definitely takes a little more prep time up front, but I think it's worth it as it keeps transitioning smoother, especially in 2nd and 3rd grade. When students have completed their Literature Circle book, I like to give them a fun book extension activity to complete. You can let them work on this as a group. I usually give them a mini activity that only takes a day or a session to complete. You can see some of the ideas here, like a book mobile, mini book foldables, story bookmarks, character booklets, and so on. I actually have a whole resource dedicated to reading response and book activities that I'll also link in the video notes. So as we wrap up this video, you might be thinking to yourself, yes, literature circles sound amazing and I want to try them, but there are a lot of resources I need to make. Now, you can absolutely take the time to make them on your own, or like I've said, I've done the heavy lifting for you and I've put together a complete Literature Circle Made Simple resource that has everything I've ever used in literature circles and all the things I've shared with you in this training. So differentiated job sheets, job slides, job posters, all the different planning pages, rubrics, discussion prompts, and so much more. Plus multiple Google Slide options of these pages so you can customize them for your classroom. So if you are ready to just jumpstart literature circles and hit the ground running, this resource is available to you, and I've linked it in the video notes at the top. It's Literature Circles Made Simple resource. Just click on that and it will take you right to the resource so you can grab that.